vote for closure for a family who lost a loved one in a violent crash. In 2009, Andrew Cazares and Fausto Manzera died in an accident involving a Chicago police officer.
The families claim the police were protected during the investigation by a so-called code of silence, and today the Cazares family says justice was served.
NBC5's Charlie Wojciechowski joins us now to explain. Charlie.
Well, Patrick and Marion, unlike many of the settlements of this sort, aldermen pushed back against the city's recommended $20 million deal with the families. The aldermen feared it could open Chicago up for liability for what its officers do when they're off the clock. But had this case gone to the jury, city attorneys argued the amount taxpayers would have been on the hook for could have been much higher. The council's quick vote today approving a $20 million settlement brings to an end an almost 9-year struggle both here and in the courts.
The code of silence, it's a beginning. It's starting to get it got broken, and it's a movement. It's something bigger, and hopefully this case, this horrible situation that happened, it helps the city of Chicago, and it helps other families.
It was a fiery crash that claimed the lives of Andrew Cazares and Fausto Manzera in April of 2009. Off-duty Chicago police officer Joe Fragoli, seen here along the side of the road, was convicted of plowing into their car while it was stopped on the shoulder of the Dan Ryan Expressway. The families of the two men maintained that their deaths were caused by a series of cover-ups within the police department that emboldened officers like Fragoli to drive drunk.
The city of Chicago did the right thing here, and we'd like to thank the city council for approving the settlement. But it was actually this family and the Manzera family that fought City Hall for 9 years and took the city to trial in this Monell Code of Silence case.
Attorney Tim Cavanagh says during the trial, the city withheld reports of 2 alcohol-related events involving Fragoli, including one where Fragoli was involved in a bar fight, and fellow officers allowed him to drive away without taking a breathalyzer test.
That was the smoking gun that forced the city of Chicago to resolve this case.
After the vote today, the mayor said the police department has to learn to do better.
I am upset about this, that we're in this position, because I want everybody, the taxpayers could do other things with those resources.
Under the terms of the settlement, each of the families will get $10 million. It was approved today by the council with a number of aldermen voting against it. Fragoli was convicted of aggravated driving under the influence and is serving an 8-year sentence in state prison. Patrick, Marion, back to you.
All right, thank you, Charlie.